Hello there, I'm Richard Harnetty, your host, and welcome to Harnetty Rail Journeys. And today we're heading on the most ambitious one-day trip to date, from here at Lee Green and St Helens, as we are heading off to Grosmont, North Yorkshire, as we make our way to the North Yorkshire Moors Railway. Now, the main reason for me going today is to get my personal favourite engine within the NYMR's collection. That's right, Stania Black 5, number 5428, Eric Treacy. We're going to be having a ride behind it later this afternoon on the 1:30 departure from Gromsont going up to Pickering. We're just waiting here now for the 606 Trans-Pennine Express service. They'll get me up to York, and then it'll be a bus up to Pickering from there. So sit back and enjoy this journey.
York, Northallerton, Darlington, Durham, Chesterley Street and Newcastle. This train is formed of 5 carriages. The next train to arrive at platform 1 is the 0606 Trans-Pennine Express service to Newcastle.
We soon arrive into the cathedral city of York, and while we make our way to Pickering by bus, let's review the engine's history at number 5428 Eric Treacy. Eric Treacy was built in 1937 by outside contractor Armstrong Whitworth at Newcastle to the design of the chief mechanical engineer at the London Midland and Scottish Railway, Sir William Stania. The engine's first shed allocation was at Leeds Holbeck of 55A, as noted on the shed code seen on these pictures of the locomotive. A northern-based locomotive for much of his working life for the LMS and British Rail, including workings on the West Riding to Whitby services via York, Malton and Pickering and Gromont. Although after nationalisation in 1948, the engine did have stints at Carlisle Upperby, Patrickcroft, Farnley Junction and Stourton, before finishing his servicing days for British Rail at Leeds Holbeck, which was withdrawn from service in 1967 after a working life of 30 years. After a year of storage at Leeds Holbeck, 45428 was saved for preservation and was moved to Tyseley Locomotive Works, what used to be the Birmingham Railway Museum. During his stint at Tyseley, the engine was officially given the name Eric Treacy, named after the famous vicar of Wakefield and Edge Hill churches, and a well-known photographer of the rail industry. The engine's only transfer and preservation came to the North Yorkshire Moors Railway, and the engine had remained on the railway ever since, and became a true stalwart to the NYMR over the decades since when it first arrived. In 2016, Eric Treacy began carrying different identities of long-lost members of the class during the NYMR's Mixed Traffic event, commemorating lost engines of Scotland, and during the Welsh Steam Gala in the autumn of 2016. Carrying the identities of 44787, 44908 and 44970 during the Scottish Mixed Traffic event. The final identity change Eric Treacy had carried was carrying the Black 5 number 45344 to commemorate the original engine that worked in Wales until it was withdrawn from service in 1966 and was scrapped at Cashmore's. A week prior to the NYMR's wartime event in 2016, Eric Treacy reacquired his British Railways number, but ran nameless until it was withdrawn for overhaul in October 2016. Eric Treacy returned to steam during the summer of 2018, and with a big twist, reacquiring his pre-nationalisation number and name Eric Treacy, and since then Eric Treacy had become a true stalwart to the NYMR once again, putting in fine fettle performances as you see with these pictures from the line side, most notably on the 1 in 49 gradient. And also during that time accumulated the most mileage by any NYMR steam loco in preservation. Now, enough for me talking about the history of 45428, as we now join 80136 on the way to Gromont, as we will join Eric Treacy later on in the afternoon. On the way, we come across the Essex Locomotive Society's S15825 as we see her pulling into Levisham Station, which this engine will be reviewed in a future video.
Travelling on the internal service, which is the 1055 from Pickering. As you can see, we're just left Goathland and we're heading down the 1 in 49 gradient down to Gromont. So, from there at Gromont, we're going to get Eric Treacy down there, and we're going to be on the 1:30 departure back up to Pickering, and where our main onboard filming of the 1 in 49 gradient will commence. So let's carry on down to Gromont.
As we coast into Gromont Tunnel, we come across and go by Gromont's Motive Power Depot, the main headquarters for the North Yorkshire Moors Railway of 50H, the home of the steam and diesel motive power. While we go through the shed, we see the progress now on the restoration to full working order of the War Department 210 3672 Dame Vera Lynn, as you just seen the boiler and rolling chassis outside the deviation shed of Nelpeg. And as we go across, we'll see the tender of the locomotive undergoing testing, ready to be moved to the workshops at Ian Riley's, which during the time of the making of this video, the tender has now arrived at the workshops in Lancashire, or Greater Manchester shall we say.
Just if you're on the platform, if you've been down around the back. Thank you. You come after the exempt. Good luck.
Look around the locomotive in close quarters after the engine arrived on the 12:45 service from Whitby. Join Eric Treacy on board for the 1:30 departure all the way back to Pickering. Our main filming is up on the 1 in 49 grade up to the summit of Moorgates. final full stretch into Pickering from Newbridge, we come across the railway's new carriage stable, which is starting to take shape. Of course, since the making of this video, the carriage stable is now officially complete, thanks to your support in donating towards the railway's Yorkshire's Magnificent Journey Appeal, which will store a huge amount of rolling stock, including the new coaches are due to be coming into service soon, easily ideal for passengers in wheelchairs. Once again, thanks to your support, the carriage stable has been made possible.
Well, that's it for another Harnetty Rail Journey for this month. I hope you enjoyed my trip on the North Yorkshire Moors Railway behind one of the finest steam locos in the MYMR's collection, 5428 Eric Treacy. An absolutely fine fettle performance today, especially on the 1 in 49 gradient. Absolutely brilliant. So thank you all very much for watching. Make sure you hit the like button, subscribe and turn on the notifications so you can be right up to date when the next content goes live. Thank you all so much for watching. Stay safe and take care. So until next time, goodbye.